On a cold, silent night in January 2012, the stillness of an ordinary apartment building was shattered by the desperate, heart-wrenching screams of a woman trapped behind an iron door. It was around 3 o'clock a.m. when those cries echoed through the hallways, piercing the quiet and sending chills down the spines of residents. The woman's pleas for help, "He's going to kill me," were unmistakably terrifying. Flat number 738, once a quiet refuge for a young couple, had become the scene of an unimaginable nightmare. About 15 neighbors heard the screams and rushed to the hallway, pounding on the iron door, desperately trying to see what was happening inside. But the door was impenetrable, blocking their view of the horror unfolding within. They could only listen as the woman pleaded for her life, her voice trembling with fear and pain. Over the next 3.5 hours, frantic calls flooded the police station, each one filled with urgency and panic. Yet, despite repeated pleas, help was tragically delayed, a failure that would later ignite public outrage across Russia. This terrifying case became one of the most infamous and emotionally charged in recent Russian history, sparking widespread debate about domestic violence, systemic negligence, and the failures of law enforcement. But before we dive deeper into the chilling details, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Your support helps us shed light on these critical, real-life stories, ensuring they reach a wider audience. Also, let us know where you're watching from in the comments. We're building a global community united by a shared commitment to uncovering the truth. Now, let us go back and trace the life of Vera Pecteval, the young woman whose story has touched so many hearts. Born on September 24, 1997, in the Russian town of Kyselvke in Kharovo Oblast, Vera was known for her gentleness and talent. From an early age, she displayed a gift for creative writing and singing, often participating and winning local contests. Her family envisioned a future for her in the arts, but Vera chose a different path after high school, enrolling in a trade college to study economic security, a field she believed would empower her to combat corruption. Vera's family life was complex but loving. Her parents, Oksana and Ivan, had separated when she was a child, yet both remained deeply involved in her upbringing. Even after Ivan remarried, Vera was welcomed into the new family fold, with her stepbrothers treating her as one of their own. The bond between Vera and her mother was particularly strong, with frequent visits and heartfelt conversations that nurtured their close relationship. In 2017, during a visit to her mother's house, Vera reconnected with Vladislav Kusen, known as Vlad, an old acquaintance with a troubled past. Their connection quickly deepened, blossoming into a romantic relationship. Vlad's childhood had been marred by trauma, abandoned by his mother, raised by a father who eventually took his own life following an accusation of theft. These dark experiences left Vlad emotionally scarred and isolated. He dropped out of school after the 9th grade, struggled with anger, and had brushes with the law due to theft and violent behavior. Vera's parents were uneasy about the relationship. Her father warned her to leave Vlad, and her mother suspected he was exploiting Vera. Despite these warnings, Vera believed her love could transform Vlad, soften his rough edges. She shared happy images of them online, masking the growing tension beneath the surface. By 2019, Vera had moved to a flat near her college in Kharovo Oblast, with help from her family to cover rent. Vlad soon moved in with her, but the relationship's darker side emerged. Vlad was unemployed, drank heavily, and refused to contribute to household duties. Vera's mother, Oksana, and her friends warned her that Vlad was using her for money and control. But Vera kept their relationship secret, withdrawing from social circles and family events. Signs of physical abuse became evident to those close to Vera, who grew increasingly alarmed. Yet, it wasn't until the fall of 2019, after numerous violent fights and beatings, that Vera decided to end the relationship. She moved out of the flat and into university dorms, taking only essential belongings. Vlad stayed behind, grudgingly accepting the breakup but making ominous threats to his brother that he would kill Vera if she did not return to him. Unfortunately, Vlad's brother dismissed these threats as emotional bluster. In the weeks that followed, Vera attempted to retrieve her remaining possessions from the flat. Vlad was uncooperative, often ignoring her calls. Then, unexpectedly, on January 12, 2020, Vlad contacted Vera, offering to help her move her things to a new apartment. Vera agreed, hoping for a peaceful exchange. On January 13th, they met, packing Vera's belongings while drinking beer and vodka. Initially, their interaction was calm, though Vlad's suggestion to rekindle their relationship sparked tension. Vera rejected him, confirming she was seeing someone else. According to Vlad, Vera reacted violently, kicking and hitting him multiple times, a claim that contradicted the brutal reality that unfolded later. Vera, intent on leaving the past behind, arranged for a friend to meet her at the apartment at 6:00 p.m. to assist with moving. At 5:08 p.m., she sent voice messages to her friend, capturing the escalating conflict. The messages revealed heated arguments, sudden silence, and Vlad's ominous presence in the background. Soon after, the violence began. What followed was a horrifying ordeal lasting hours. Vlad assaulted Vera, relentlessly punching, kicking, stabbing, and strangling her. Despite neighbors hearing her screams and frantic calls to the police, the authorities failed to intervene in time. The iron ore prevented neighbors from entering, and emergency responders delayed their response due to excuses about vehicle availability and resource constraints. This failure to act cost Vera her life. Vlad admitted in questioning that he had hit Vera over 100 times, strangled her with an iron cord not to kill but to silence her screams, and stabbed her repeatedly with a knife. The autopsy revealed devastating injuries: broken nose and lungs, bruises, cuts, stab wounds, and severe brain trauma from a final deadly blow to her head. After delivering the fatal strike, Vlad strangled her body to ensure death. Around 6:30 a.m., after agonizing hours of violence, neighbors finally forced the door open with a crowbar. The scene inside was nightmarish: blood splattered on walls and ceiling, Vera's lifeless body lying in a pool of blood, and Vlad found drunk in the bathroom, clutching a bloody knife. The tragedy sparked outrage across Russia. Investigations revealed that emergency workers had been negligent, seen drinking tea and ignoring urgent calls. The sergeant on duty cited lack of police cars and fuel as reasons for inaction, but evidence contradicted these claims. 3 emergency workers were charged with dereliction of duty, but received light sentences and kept their jobs. Vera's family was left devastated not only by the loss of their beloved daughter, but by the failure of justice and protection. Vlad was sentenced to 17 years in a high-security prison and ordered to pay reparations. Yet, shockingly, he was released after only a few months, later joining the military and serving briefly at the front lines before returning to freedom. This early release crushed Vera's family, leaving them feeling betrayed by the system that failed her. Vera's mother, Oksana, expressed profound grief and despair, saying that her child would rot in her grave while the perpetrator walked free. his criminal record erased. The case remains a painful reminder of the consequences of domestic violence, systemic failure, and the urgent need for reform. If this story moved you and you want to stay informed about more true crime cases, please like this video and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and take care of each other. We'll see you in the next video.